But he goes on, you have 24 hours to leave the organization, and if you don't comply with this decision by Washington, we have ways to retaliate against you.
Free Talk Live.
Penguin, you're on our Discord server at discord.lrn.fm. Go ahead.
I sure am, and hopefully my audio is as great as always.
Yes, it is.
On the Discord app.
Thank you.
So I have a pretty serious call today.
Okay,
this is
we're
all
ready.
Sparked from it was actually an hour-long Fresh Air program on NPR I listened to about John Bolton, who's a truly frightening and just absolutely well, I don't want to say any kind of, diagnosis casually, but he's a truly frightening individual.
He's a government goon, right?
He was under the George W. Bush administration. He was the appointed, and he's a heavy UN skeptic, but he was appointed as the ambassador to the UN, and now he is the national security advisor. He's a lot more influential than a national security advisor typically is. He takes a pretty active role in policy. So what really shocked me and made me want to call in on specifically on Saturday night was just to get the information out there about a specific incident, because you may know about this guy, you may hear about this guy. He was a Fox News contributor for a long time, and that's why Trump picked him, because he tends to pick his people off of Fox News. Not even a joke. I mean, that's exactly what he does. He actually picks his people under him off of Fox News.
When's Judge Napolitano going to hit the limelight?
Well, I guess that's why everybody's been throwing his name around, to be honest with you. Exactly, probably why. And there's honestly a good chance if the track record proves to predict the future. But in an incident with John Bolton in the lead up to the Iraq War, which eventually did actually occur, but this is before that happened, in that period of time between 9/11 and the Iraq War, when there was certainly the drumbeat to war. The Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, under Jose Bustani, who was the head of it, he was. They were targeting Saddam Hussein and Iraq to get them to accede to the Chemical Weapons Treaty. The Chemical Weapons Treaty is a treaty that over 180 nations, virtually all nations on Earth, are party to. They obviously prohibits the use of chemical weapons and opens you up to at any time inspections. And with all this WMD talk, Bustani and his organization were very close to being able to get, or I think maybe did get a commitment to, or even briefly an accession to the treaty by Iraq. And the next thing he knows, and I have the article here from The Intercept by Mehdi Hassan. I'm not sure if he was the guy on the interview, but I think he may have been. Well, actually, no, I'm not sure if he was. But this is from The Intercept anyway. And next thing he knows, and he's over there in, I think, the Netherlands. And next thing he has John Bolton sitting in front of him at his desk. And John Bolton says to him, let me scroll down here.
And when are we talking about? Is this previous to the second Iraq invasion? Or what?
Yes,
what time
2002. And the Iraq invasion was in 2003.
Okay, got it.
And so Bolton, then serving as the Undersecretary of State for Arms Control and International Security Affairs, arrived in person in front of the guy's desk and says, "Cheney wants you out. We can't accept your management style." He said, "You have 24 hours to leave the organization." And he's
just to be clear, he's talking to the guy who's trying to get countries to sign on to a treaty to stop using chemical weapons?
Who's getting Saddam Hussein to sign the treaty, or has gotten a commitment or a signature. I'm not even entirely sure. But he goes on, you have 24 hours to leave the organization, and if you don't comply with this decision by Washington, we have ways to retaliate against you. There was a pause. And quote, again, we know where your kids live. You have 2 sons in New York. So, I mean, talk about openly mafia goon that's in the government.
That's horrifying. If
not
true.
Even like a goon, a real goon.
What's the source on this again?
The Intercept, Mark.
Oh boy,
yeah, The Intercept.
That's pretty reliable.
Yeah, they
reporting.
do pretty good journalism.
Yeah, and this is Bustani said that, and he didn't back down. Actually, they actually had to get him voted off the thing, but voted off of the chairmanship or whatever the role is in the.
So he faced down the threats, is what you're saying. So they didn't end up killing his sons in New York, as he suggested. He faced that down.
Yep. So the quote here is, "My family is aware of the situation, and we are prepared to live with the consequences of my decision."
That's amazing. Good for him.
Yep.
But
yeah,
I guess
absolutely.
the idea here is that Bolton did not want any publicity around Saddam Hussein signing any such document because they wanted the ability to invade. They wanted every excuse.
This was when Colin Powell was going in front of the UN, with the vials and all that jazz.
Yellow cake.
So they couldn't have that.
That they never found.
That treaty, of course.
Right. Wow. Thank you for sharing that tonight. Anything else, Penguin?
It's horrifying. Yep.
Thanks for the call tonight. Appreciate hearing from you. That's Penguin there on our Discord server. One of the bunch of folks that are hanging out there all the time talking about lots of different stuff. Check it out.
Free Talk Live. Listen live 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern or grab the podcast. It's all at freetalklive.com.